All right, good afternoon, everyone. It is Danielle Ronin with Keller Williams Realty, your local community connector. And today we're going to be connecting with Amanda DeLorme of BioClean. Hello, Amanda.
Hello.
Hello, it's so nice to see your smiling face. BioClean, tell me a little bit about what your company does.
Sure.
Generally speaking.
So BioClean in general is an indoor air quality company. We started essentially by cleaning surgical suites. We know quite a bit about how to kill single cell organisms, so it naturally kind of branched into what affects indoor air quality and how do you make sure it is a sterile environment. Mold is something that is a growing industry because our climate's changing a little bit. So we're starting to see more and more of that. And essentially that's what we do, indoor air quality and everything that kind of ties into it.
Okay, and let's start with this COVID virus and the way it's spreading and how that affects you. Why don't we jump into that first?
Sure. So I personally am someone who is immunocompromised. We don't talk about it a lot in general day-to-day activity, but considering the circumstances recently, a lot more people know about that little fact about me. In my household, for the last week, we have not had friends and family really over. That's been a huge adjustment. I see my family probably 2 to 3 times a week.
Oh, okay.
My parents live 5 minutes from here, so we're adjusting to having regular phone calls every day. My husband, when he gets home, because he is still working, he's in the electrical field, he comes home and he changes every day. He washes his hands religiously, and we just make sure that everything that he does is in consideration that I am immunocompromised. So that's a different change in life for right now for me.
Sure. And so the way that this virus is spreading, and especially for those who are compromised, what would be best practices at home that you could share on that? And then we'll jump into your professional insight on all of this.
Like I said, when my husband comes over, he's the only one that's obviously coming into my house at this point. He's making sure that he's changing his clothes before he gets into the house. He's also washing his hands regularly at work, and he showers as soon as he gets home. So that helps out quite a bit. As for everything else, we're just making sure that the house is super clean. I regularly do that anyways. However, we're just making sure that all the surfaces that he's touching are his and mine are mine. So we're not sharing glasses of wine at the moment. But you know, we're just hanging out with each other, and we're not having anybody else in the home. So that's kind of what it looks like.
Okay, now BioClean has this amazing product that is exclusively offered through you and some other rare retailers. Yeah. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Sure. So Sanosil is a product that essentially atomizes or charges in a positive manner hydrogen peroxide and silver. What that means is when something's electrically charged, it wraps around everything because it's very reactive. So when you release this mist into your home or your office space, it wraps around every surface of the room. It's incredible. When we talk to the different doctor's offices that we've been treating, homes where someone has immunocompromised situation, we make sure that we close off all the vents, we make sure that we close up the room, and we ask them to leave temporarily. They can hang out, you know, outside if they wanted to, but essentially you treat that space, you let it dissipate for 90 minutes. We take our ATP machine, which is essentially what single cell organisms run off of. We test the surface and make sure that everything has in fact been killed, and then we can let you back into your home or office. Pretty cool product. It is no longer really able to be purchased unless you have a distributor status. We had that before the pandemic, so we were lucky enough to still get the product. It is very hard to get at the moment.
Okay, and what does it kill specifically? What types of organisms?
It kills all viruses, fungi, and bacteria to a log 6, so 99.99999%. So COVID-19 actually has been listed as one of the viruses it can in fact kill.
Okay. And so you mentioned that it's hydrogen peroxide and silver. What is it about the silver that makes it so effective?
Sure. So silver is actually what is used in surgery itself. It's an antimicrobial. It doesn't allow the single cell organisms to essentially reside there. It's just not something that allows the attraction to microbes to survive. It's a natural inhibitor, if you will.
Oh, okay. Good to
Pretty
know.
cool.
It is pretty cool. And then, so now that we're indoors, we're cooped up, right? Trying to get some fresh air when we can, but we're spending more time indoors and breathing in our own indoor air more so than we're used to. What tips can you offer to improve our indoor airspace right now?
Sure. So it doesn't hurt to open the windows or the doors every once in a while. Outdoor air is still one of the best things you can do. I know it's been hot and cold here recently, but it does help to open up the windows and allow some airflow. When it comes to temperature control, that's always something you want to keep in mind when it comes to any growth. Keeping all surfaces clean. So if you see dust and you've got some free time, you can go ahead and wipe that down with just about any product that you have in your home currently. You don't need to run out and buy Lysol, essentially get dust off of banisters and walls and all that fun stuff. But just keeping those things free and clear in the home allows mold to have nowhere to live, which is pretty cool. So if it has no surfaces that have dust or dirt, and then it also has no humidity, you're in pretty good shape for that. One of the most common things I see in homes where people have asthmatic symptoms is, you know, those little like Glade plugins?
Yep.
Okay, those are really terrible for indoor air quality. It essentially disperses oils into the air. So you just want to kind of keep this stuff in mind when you're hanging out. I know they smell really good, but that type of stuff does affect air quality when you're sitting at home. And you might start to notice some of these things now that you're hanging out at home so much more often than you usually do. But those are some of the things that I would suggest, you know, when it comes to indoor air quality. Just making sure you keep a solid temperature, you know, nice and dry in the home. You can monitor humidity pretty well. It's not too humid right now, but you know, that's always something you want to keep an eye on. And just be aware of what you're using in your house. When you're cleaning with Clorox, open your windows.
Right, right.
Open.
Yeah.
You know, keep in mind that yes, a clean environment is a great environment, but remember what you're putting into the air. That would be my suggestion.
Understood, understood. Now, is BioClean making house calls right now?
They are. We are still making house calls. We are considered essential as we do indoor air quality treatments as well as cleanings. We're still doing mold remediation for the clients that we've already booked.
Okay.
You know, especially when it comes to something like this happening, that gives the ability to open you up to so many other things. So we do need to make sure that we're still cleaning.
Okay, and is Sanosil being used in a residential format right now?
It is. So we use Sanosil in both industrial, commercial, and residential circumstances. More so now than we have before. Typically, we were using Sanosil when there was a transplant patient or someone coming home from chemotherapy. We used it to sterilize, but now with the virus being able to reside on different surfaces, longer term, we've now moved Sanosil into homes.
Okay, and if you can answer this question, I don't know if you can, like on average, what would a home treatment cost somebody? What would be the...
They start at about $500. Typically, I don't see them go over about $1,500. It really depends on the square footage.
On the sides of the home. Okay, great. And if anybody's interested in getting in touch with you at BioClean for a Sanosil or other service, where is the best way that they can reach you?
They can reach out to us either online. My website has several different ways to reach us. It's www.biocleanct.com. We also have a telephone number that I will likely pick up. It is 203-283-3912. And we'll be there to answer any questions that you have.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me on this call. It will live forever in replay, I hope. And it's so nice to see you. Stay well, and we'll connect again shortly.
All right, sounds great. Thank you so much, Danielle.
Thanks, Amanda.